What's up, gamers? It's Paladin Null, and welcome back to more Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Now, if you're good enough to notice that, which I show off here by switching out to this weapon, so it's very painfully obvious, my ammo's different. Basically, what ended up happening was I had episodes 2 and 3 recorded, but I didn't really like the way that episode 2 came out, so I just decided, you know what? It'd be better off if I just redid the entire thing. So here we go. In the last episode, we met up with our good old rookie friend here, Leandros, and we got on the comm radio from our Sergeant Sadonas, but we haven't quite met up with him yet. I got that wrong at the end of the last episode. We have not met up with our Sergeant, I think it said Veteran Srgt Sadonas. We have not met up with him yet. We have only gotten a comm call from him, and that is where we're headed now. Also, hopefully the audio quality is fixed in this episode.
We'll make for the defense cannon, Captain.
Sadonas picked up local Imperial Guard communications. Survived under the shadow of that gun. I want to know how. Keep firing!
So now we are headed to find Sadonas, as well as the chatter he heard over the radio of people who survived. And I'm just going to kill these people off. And explosion. A fine red paste. So anyway, let's see here. We got a big battlefield here, so I'm just going to pick off some of these goblins while I'm just standing up here. Because I like to be extremely cheap. But yeah, that's another thing to note about this game is not a very good checkpointing system as far as if you want to go back. Basically, I'm lucky I decided to do this early on because if it weren't for the checkpoints, the missions themselves are very long, and if you don't have the right checkpoint at the right time, it can be very easy to just lose your place. Oh, well, that's one way to do things, I suppose. Just stab an explosive barrel. That's a cool looking gun. It looks like a bolter, but it's like a mounted bolter. Let's pick up some ammo so we can actually have some full ammo here.
My lord, you have saved us.
Rise, guardsmen. You saved yourselves. We thought you did.
We would be, my lord, if not for the lieutenant.
Where will we find this lieutenant?
At the front lines. Follow the trench network to the lieutenant's command bunker.
Carry on, guardsmen. We rendezvous with Sadonas, then we find this lieutenant. We need updated intel on the gun battery.
Through here, my lords.
And that's one of the weird things.
Plaza. The bunker is beyond that.
That's one of the things that tends to not necessarily bother me, but it's just like the first time I heard it, I had to do a double take, because I am American, and using American English, we pronounce it lieutenant, but I thought they were just being stupid by calling them lieutenants this entire time. Apparently, that is a thing. That's how they're pronounced in some places, but I've always called them lieutenants, so it's not necessarily aggravating, just as like...
Captain, I'm in position at a broken monument near the guard lines.
Sadonas on the radio again. But, yeah, calling them lieutenants in this game is going to be a little weird to me. Just because, I mean, it's actually spelled lieutenant. So I don't know how they got left from that. Ooh, we have rendezvoused. Speaking of English language... There's a whole lot of stuff that's just messed up with it.
Sergeant, I see you found something to keep you busy.
Worry not, Captain. I've saved some orcs for you. The orcs have got that gun well defended, no mistake. But typical orc behavior would be to dismantle or destroy the gun.
And certainly not use it to keep our forces at bay. There's a strategy behind it. Their leader is no fool.
This day is getting interesting.
I may have encountered the Orc during our jump to the surface.
That was the orc ship I saw crash near here, I take it. Did he survive?
If the Horde hasn't turned on itself, it's still under his control.
And here is one of the most iconic things to exist, at least in my opinion, of the Space Marines, besides maybe their armor. That is the Chainsword. The Mark, I believe that's 10, Hell's Teeth Chainsword, is the close combat weapon of choice among Space Marines, combining terrifying power and great speed. Square to strike, triangle to stun. This replaces our current melee weapon. See the combo control screen on the pause menu for a complete list of attacks. Now, it's sort of spoilery to say it now, but basically, like it's shown here throughout the game, we will get more melee weapons. But one thing that I find not necessarily odd, just like a nice little trivia fact, is you actually never get a chance to get the combat knife back now that we have the chainsword. The chainsword is like, because later in the game you can switch out your melee weapon at certain spots. You'll also notice that my combo is now I can hit square 3 times before stomping the ground. I believe there's just a regular kick, 2 swings, and then a shoulder, 3 swings, and then a stomp. And then if I do 4 swings, I'll show you after I kill these guys off. Here we go. 4 swings is 1, 2, 3, and death beam of death that cuts people in half. And I am just getting absolutely riddled here, aren't I? Come on. Come on. Oh, that's just not fair. Where are you even standing? Come on. Come on. Poke your head out. There we go. Okay, let's run through here. That's it. Bolter time. I go on a lot about how I prefer not to use the bolter because, yeah, ammo, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you really gotta just suck it up. Now, this is a secret area, and I think what it is because I've actually already collected it before on this account, much like achievements, or I guess trophies since I'm on PS3, much like trophies and achievements, once it's on a certain account, you've got it. So, I believe I would have collected, as you can see written down there, servo skulls. I have 7 of those on this account. That means that there's probably going to be several that I'm not going to collect at the beginning of this, because I've already collected them. Here we go, another cutscene. And we get introduced to, essentially, the extremely high-speed suicide enemies of this game. If you've been watching my streams with Deadman of us playing Borderlands 2, they're pretty much like the exploders, but with no health. You shoot them once, no matter what gun, you shoot them once and they're dead. That these things are literally just one shot, one kill. I think there's supposed to be at least one more. Yeah, there we go. One shot, one kill, does not matter. They're pretty much just walking flame barrels. Oh boy, and here comes a big fight. Though I think it's a purposeful big fight because this is where we pick up grenades for the first time. So, yeah. Let's explode some barrels here. And I especially don't have any remorse for using ammo here, because there's a gigantic stash of it right over there. So many goblins, so little time. Combat roll. Combat roll. Stomp of Doom. Now, before, I thought that you could, like, when I did the recording the first time, I thought you could probably hear my button mashing, which I'm still not sure because I have fixed the volume problems that were here before. But that doesn't change the fact that before you couldn't hear it at all. I also have a system in place right now that allows me to, that whenever I'm talking, it lowers in-game sound so you can hear me better. But I don't know how well it's working, or if it's working so well that you can't hear the game audio at all. Unless I'm, like, absolutely quiet. In which case that would be annoying. Also, we get new, as you can see from that, we get new, we get new execution animations for those enemies. There are so many of these. I hate the gunners, because all they do is they just whittle you down. They're never the ones dealing too much damage, but they will be the ones to whittle you down. Does it take more than that to kill an orc? Because now, you know, I just killed you. Now, if I remember correctly, this round has at least one of those suicide things in it. Nope. Okay, well, grenade. And that's how a grenade works. Basically, you hit L2 and you throw a grenade, just like any other shooter game, pretty much. They just do not give up on this fight, do they? No, they definitely don't give up on this fight. These guys are annoying. Let's try to riddle them down, if we can. Ooh, 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 ooh. I didn't get to show this the first time I played through. He just died straight out whenever I did this the first time through. But basically, it has a special death animation. Oh.
We thought we were done for. Where's your commander, Guardsman?
Inside.
That was weird.
Sealed.
I believe they will let us through. Imperial Guard, we are Ultramarines. Open this door.
Space Marines.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, because we're the Space Marines and we're pretty much the chosen ones of the Emperor, we pretty much have free reign to do whatever we want to these people. Or for these people. These sections of the games pop up every now and again, and it's really just to show off just how grim the situation is on this planet right now. Oh, cutscene. And there is our lieutenant. As it would be.
Thank the Emperor. Second Lieutenant Mira, 203rd Cadian Regiment.
Captain Titus of the Ultramarines.
You are in command.
I'm all that's left, my lord. Unless my commanders rise from the grave. So far, they seem content to stay put.
Lieutenant, the scouts have returned to forward base.
How many?
2.
Damn. I sent out 10. That damn gun. We don't have the numbers to make an assault. And as you might have seen, it's shooting down all our support vessels.
That is why we are here. Leave the gun to us.
Come with me, then. I should warn you, my lords. We've got a slight orc problem down here.
So yeah, orcs took over the gun battery for no apparent reason. Like, that's not a thing they would do. Oh, by the way, this is something that we really want. This is our Purity Seal. It gives us the Fury unlock, where, like any other hack and slash, you now gain Fury every time you damage an enemy. Once your Fury meter is full, press in L3 and R3, which is the stick buttons, the bane of any tutorial, because I don't know why they don't just say push in the sticks. They have to name those L3 and R3 to enter Fury mode. All your close combat attacks are enhanced and you regain health. Fury mode drains the Fury meter, ending when the meter is empty.
What do you know of the Titans on this planet?
Only that our troops were sent to guard the Titan Invictus at Manufactorum Ajakis. But that was 2 weeks ago, and we've lost contact with them.
We need to reach that Titan.
Your fastest
Camera's being wonky.
rail bridge behind the gun complex. It leads directly to the western gates of the Manufactorum.
Okay, so then, let's see what's going on here. We want to get to the front line now. One thing that I'd like to point out here is I don't know a whole lot about the actual board game, but her mentioning scouts just reminds me of a thing I saw on Reddit once, which really reminds me that I'm pretty sure the majority of the units you see here, as well as their actual designs and everything, is a lot like how the characters look in the board game. Like, you don't just go running around with a mess load of Ultramarines, or I guess they're not always Ultramarines, Space Marines. Ooh, enemies. But, like I was saying, a lot of the characters you see here are usable characters in the game. In the board game. At least I believe. I want to say they are. Like I said before, I just don't know about it. But, to my knowledge, that's true. If you know, correct me, because I like to learn things, but that's what I think is going on here. We've got a little bit of time. Let's see here. Pick up some grenades and ammo. Do we have time, or should I just cut it off? No. We've got time. We've got time for at least one more little spurt of combat. Oh, and he just sort of appeared. Ouch. Okay. Well, you're my health now. So I forgot to show off there that you have a combat roll, which I showed off earlier, but that's what you're supposed to learn about combat rolling, is to roll out of the way of grenades. Though, typically, it's also really good for dodging melee units if you're not ready to attack them yet. Also, I love that all of the regular humans have, like, laser guns, and I'm just using something that essentially just shoots railroad spikes. Oh, and the music's getting all epic. Okay. Here, we actually get to man the heavy bolter. Now, I screwed up on this on my first run, so I'm glad that I actually have control of it this time. I screwed up this big time the first time I did it. But, basically, it's just like any other mounted gun in a shooter. You get on it, it's got infinite ammo, but it's got a cooldown rate. A lot like Halo, you can actually rip this off, and it does have an ammo count at that point. Though, unlike Halo, it retains its cooldown rate whenever... Actually, does the gun in Halo still have a cooldown rate once you rip it off the pedestal? I don't know. But, this one still has its cooldown rate. It just so happens that, let's see here, I'll tear it off. We then only have 150 ammo. And it forced me to drop it. Oh, that's great.
Nearly 2 weeks ago, our unit was the only one to make landfall.
Excuse me for that, guys. Goblins. I like shooting the goblins. Oh, I just realized that was in my regular bolter. I meant to do that with my pistol. Oh well. But, way to go shooting there. Anyway, there we go. I think this is gonna be where I cut the episode. So, this is the second iteration of me playing through episode 2 of Warhammer 40k Space Marines. We've got our rookie guy here, Leandros, or Leandros, I don't know how to say his name. Every time that I say Leandros, I can only be reminded of the final boss of the Star Fox games, Andros. And our Veteran Srgt Sadonas here, who apparently already had a chainsword before we got here. I had to get mine here. I don't really consider that fair. But yeah. Anyway, ooh, is that poorly textured brass shells onto the floor? I think it is. I never said this game was the most beautifully textured. It's a good game, I think, story-wise, and the gameplay, while it does get a little repetitive, is still fun for me. I mean, most hack and slashes and most shooters do have typically repetitive gameplay. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode, and even though episode 1 has technically gone up at the time of me recording this, which is also why, unfortunately, this one isn't coming out the Wednesday after the first episode, or else it would. Unfortunately, I still haven't gotten access to what you guys have said for my ending statements. So it'd be best if I could get some of those soon, or just whatever. I'm probably just going to keep saying random stuff and do these really stupidly long outros that I always do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, favorite, subscribe if you haven't. I will be fixing the end slate soon. It's got a couple of things that I'd like to fix on it, but I just don't have the time right now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you guys later. Bye!